Good evening, everyone. We would like to show you a brief summary about chapter number 8, and please welcome my guest, Adriana and Umberto. Go ahead, Adriana.
Okay, hi. In the introduction of translation, history, and culture, the authors emphasize the impact of interaction between translation and culture. They consider there are three main areas where cultural studies has influenced translation studies. The first one is rewriting. That means any text produced on the basis of another has the intention of adapting that other text to a certain ideology or to a certain poetic, and usually to both. For the authors, the literary system is controlled by two main factors. The first one, professionals within the literary system that determine the dominant poetic. It is composed by critics and reviewers, academics, teachers, translators. The author analyzed two components. The first, literary devices, that are genders, symbols, narrative plot, and characters. And the second, the concept of the role of literature. That means the relation between literature and the social system in which it exists. The second factor is patronage outside the literary system that determined the ideology. It includes groups of people, institutions that regulate literature's distribution. In patronage, there are three main elements: the ideological component, the economic component, and the status component. The first one, the ideological component, this constrains the choice of subject and the form of its presentation. The authors see the patronage ideological focused. The second one, the economic component, this concerns the payment of writers and writers, for example, newspapers, publishers, universities, and the states. In the past, it was a kind of pension or payment. Today, it's like a translator fees. The third one is the status component. In return for economic payment from a benefactor or literary press, the beneficiary is often expected to conform to the patron's expectations. Patronage is focused in ideology, while professionals are focused in poetic. For the author, the most important consideration is the ideological component.
All right, thank you very much. Go ahead, Umberto.
Okay, I will continue talking about translation and gender. And to begin talking about this, I'm going to talk about Sherry Simon's approach. She says, or she considers that translation from a gender studies angle. She says that there is a parallel between translation and women, both repressed in society and literature. She considers that fidelity in translation is to be directed toward neither the author nor the reader, but toward the writing project. This author, Sherry Simon, says that there should be marks of gender in some text, like for example the word one with an italic E, to know that they are talking about women. She also talks about words like, for example, author. There must be a difference between knowing if it's a man or a woman who wrote the text. She also talks about the importance of women doing translation in Russian history. She says that first translations were made by women. The second part of this chapter talks about the translation of gay texts. Okay, and here Harry talks about the contact theory. This is to examine the way gay men and lesbians work with inappropriate prevailing straight discourses. He says that it's difficult to translate a word like "oh my," "adorable," because there is a mix of formal and informal register. She also talks about translations being pejorative, where some texts translate the expression "to be gay" into, for example, "ser uno de esos." So he says that it's really pejorative and the translation shouldn't be done like that. Okay, then we talk about a post-colonial translation theory, and I'm going to begin with this quote. In the act of wholesale translation into English, there can be a betrayal of the democratic ideal into the law of the strongest. Okay, basically this is that the strongest country will translate text into or for their own benefit. Okay, there is always, English is always given prominence, but translators fail to translate because they try to make it accessible for the Western readers. Okay, he says that the central intersection of translation studies and post-colonial theory is that of power translation. Power translation is that the strongest nation is always going to translate for their benefit, and translation is always going to be biased. It is said that colonizers imposed ideological values. Okay, and for concluding, it says that translation operates under colonialism. Okay?
All right, thank you very much to all of you, and I hope you like our video.